Yeah. Here we go. Here we go. Happy Sunday. I hope your weekend was as good as Coach Nakia's, although it probably wasn't as good as Coach Nakia's. She went to New York City and got photos with Katie, the row instructor at Peloton, and Dennis, hot Dennis from Peloton. So way to go, Nakia. We all wish we were you right now. And I know you wish that you were here in Colorado, where we've just had some amazing, amazing out of season-esque spring weather with everything that I warned you guys about last week. So few reminders as we go into spring. The days, notice I don't even have to turn a light on anymore at this time. Yay. I don't have to worry about lighting. I just open the window because the days are getting a little bit longer. It's dark a little bit later, and it's light earlier in the morning. So with that, it might be time to start seeing if you could work early morning runs back into the routine if those have fallen off the radar. Maybe just start with a couple days a week. You don't have to up in your entire schedule. But if ever there was a time, now's the time to start thinking about it, if not actively doing it. The other thing to remember, you've got weather coming here. Yay, sweet. I hope you get it too. It's been so nice here, except for the wind. The wind has been really strong. The time of day when the wind is the worst, though, tends to be in the evenings, at least in Colorado. The mornings tend to be the most still, I guess. The trade-off is later. You get the gnats in the morning, and you don't get those as much in the evening. But there are worse things. If you can avoid the water, you can avoid the gnats. You can't really avoid the wind unless. So that's why I encourage people to run in the morning. You are less likely to hit wind. Depending on where you are, you might be a little bit more likely to hit fog. But if you can play around with the timing of when you start, hopefully you can miss the worst of it. I'm also going to remind you that when the wind is kicking up and the weather is changing and the days are longer and a little bit warmer, the trees are going to be kicking out that much more pollen because they've gotten the signal that it's spring. So if you are the type who has seasonal allergies, it's time to pull out the Zyrtec, pull out the Allegra. I know that people are like, I take one or the other. You cannot take both. Some are Allegra people. We're a Zyrtec household for no reason. It's just more effective for us. But to that end, just remember that now it seems early, but it really isn't. Spring allergy season starts around mid-February and continues through mid-April, but can run as late as June. So eventually we're going to get to the point where we're just taking the allergy medicine year round. But c'est la vie, that's where we are for now. No, you're not starting it too soon if you go ahead and start it now. The other key to remember is if you take it first thing in the morning before you run, that most allergy medications will spike your heart rate anywhere from 15 to 20 beats per minute, and that can slow your run down and be really frustrating. So the timing that I have always preferred is in the evening before dinner. We usually eat around 5 o'clock. So in the evening before dinner, that way your body's had time to adjust to it, and it doesn't keep me awake really late, and it's still effective when I wake up in the morning. So that would be, obviously what works for me may not work for you, but think about the timing of it and find the most optimal timing for you, because we want that to be, if you take it right before you go out the door, it's probably not going to have kicked in really before you finished your run. Other reminders, just because it's a little bit nicer now, we've got a little more sun. Go ahead if you've started taking vitamin D to get through the winter. If you've got a sun lamp that you've been using either to get out of bed like we do, we have a sun lamp that comes on at 5:30 so that we're starting to wake up naturally around the same time year round. I wouldn't put that away just yet, and I wouldn't put away the vitamin D just yet. You're going to need those for a couple more weeks until the clock changes and until we spring forward. I don't know why we still do that, but until that day comes, you need to, keep doing what you're doing a little bit longer. Try to run in the morning, but let's not make any other big changes to the schedule. Also remember that that whole exposure piece. Every year I talk about, you've got pollen, you've got weather, but you've also got exposure that will get a runner. So we've been bundling up through the winter, long sleeves, hats, gloves, long pants, etc. And as soon as it gets a little bit nice, we're like, in shorts and tank tops. And that is going to be a shock to your system. And if your skin has not seen this much sun in months, let's ease back into it a little bit. Maybe start with shorts, and then a week or two later, then go to short sleeves. If you do it all at once, you're going to be taking on a lot of sun, and that is work for your body. It's work for your metabolic system. It's work for your skin as it tries to maintain homeostasis and fluid balance. So a whole lot of sun is going to be a shock to your system, and you might find yourself more tired after a workout. That is, even though you don't feel like you're working harder or doing anything differently, that's a combination of the toll that the extra sunlight, the literal sun exposure, is taking on your body, that the allergy medication and pollen in the air is taking on your body. This is not a true measure of who you are and where you are. Everyone suffers a little bit in the spring, even though the conditions are better. Our body needs a little bit of time to adjust to those better conditions. So if you go straight out right away, running in the afternoon, running in the middle of the day, running like, all the pollen's out, all the sun is out. I mean, yeah, it feels good for a few minutes, but you're going to be doubly tired afterward. And that is why. The problem is not you. We just, we need a little bit of got to remember to be gentle with ourselves. We need a period of adjustment before we go back into anything too hard. But I know that no one really does that. You get excited when you get a race coupon in your inbox, and then you got to sign up for that race. That's fine. If you have done that already, or if you plan to do that soon, go ahead and hop in office hours and tell me what race that is. I love hearing your stories and where you guys plan to go. Seems like we have several people who, as far as I know, haven't spoken to each other about it, but are all going to be running the Orange County Marathon or half this year. I'm fascinated with this. Like, when it's not group think, it's like individual think, but everyone's thinking the same thing. I'm just fascinated. So yeah, there are several of you. If you are planning on running the OC Marathon or half, go ahead and say, hi, me, in the comments. And hopefully you can link up, find each other when you get there. I will not be able to join this year. It's too much going on in springtime, but fingers crossed, later this year and definitely next year, fingers crossed, I can get back to planning FPP meetups, going places and seeing you guys. Really looking forward to that. Final note, I didn't have time to go and find all the weekly wins this week, though I know there had to be some. It's my final note. It was in my head a minute ago. Oh, yes. So if you are, fitness is not really where you want it to be at the moment, if maybe the running clothes are feeling a little tighter than they did the last time you had them on, maybe you weren't able to keep the habit going through the winter for one reason or another. Remember, we have just come out of a life-altering event, the pandemic. It was huge. It lasted for a really long time. And a lot of us had to change our lives and adjust the way that we lived and bigger patterns that we had, how we worked, where we worked, how and where we commuted. For example, and for a lot of people, how and where they were married, how close they were to their children. For a lot of people, that is all of those things have changed, and those are big changes. So if big changes have led to big changes in your body, rather than beat yourself up for it, congratulations, we have survived. It's going to take some time to get back to any sense of normalcy. I am certainly nowhere near where I was before I had COVID, before the 2 years of health problems all kicked in. So try not to feel too bad about it. And if you are having trouble getting away from those negative thoughts, get an office hours to talk to me. I'll set you straight, because you're coached, you are loved, you're winning at life, you're right where you need to be. You're doing every decision you've ever made is the right one. And I could not be prouder of you. And most of all, I'm just thrilled that you're still here. And I'm thrilled that you're getting some of that spring weather too. Unfortunately, we're supposed to be getting snow, I think, on Tuesday, and I roll my eyes at that because it has been so nice. And I've had flu A for the past 3 days because I can't get a break. And I'm excited to get outside, even if it's just for a little walk tomorrow, because I know I'm going to be in for the rest of the week with snow. Anyway, I hope you have an amazing week. Can you believe that it's almost March? I just finished the playlist for you guys, and it's a really good one. I'm excited about it, but I can't get over how was it almost March? How was it almost March? Marching through it together, and I am proud to be marching through it with you.